Day 2 in Who Would Win Week. I'm a little late on it. I meant to get to it earlier in the day. I just didn't. I am petting the puppy with my leg. So if you see my leg doing this, it's because I'm petting her with my foot. And now I think it's Sprites. Sprites TM. Now, if you don't know how that's actually spelled, it's Sprites and then a little overscore TM. I asked the question. Who would win in a fight? Silver the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog versus Axel from the Megaman series. Now, I originally didn't think much of this fight in terms of, like, what's the best way to put it? I didn't think it was, like, when I was looking up, I was like, why did this person ask me to do this fight? This fight they don't seem to match up with each other very well. And then I saw White Axel, which is pretty much a upgraded armor form of Axel, who is one of the as they put it in this nice little description, he's a tritagonist. He's another hero in the story. He's a bit cocky, but he does the right thing, kind of stuff. Give me 1 second. I've been on this page for a while, so it's kind of not frozen, but it's kind of lagging a little bit now because I've just been sitting on this page for so long. Give me 1 second. All right, and there we go. So we're just gonna get back. Anyway. So we'll go over Silver the Hedgehog. Now, Silver the Hedgehog is from 200 years in the future, where his psychokinetic powers, or telekinesis, if you're the layman, is not an unusual occurrence. In fact, it's actually a pretty common occurrence. But he goes back in time to help his present by stopping the atrocities of the past. And as I said, his main ability is immense psychokinetic powers, immense telekinetic powers, minor telepathy, but mostly inducing vertigo, not much. The point, he's constantly levitating in place, is his main fighting style, throwing objects, things along those lines. But he can also do things like summon a giant massage scare, crumple them up into a giant several-ton ball and throw it at an individual. He can kind of do like a gravity energy shot. He can use psychokinetic energy to create energy blasts. He's actually capable of fighting Shadow to a standstill and nearly killed Sonic, who was admittedly not taking the fight as seriously as he could have. The point being is that Silver is actually an extremely powerful combatant, to the point where he can even use the Chaos Emeralds himself and have a super Silver form. Granted, he can only use Chaos Control, which warps space and time, but given the fact that he is psychic and capable of manipulating space to a small degree, like short-distance teleportation, that is quite effective. Now, will we be using that in this fight? No, because honestly, that'd be a cop-out ability. The ability to manipulate space and time against this character would not be fair to Axel, because, let's face it, Axel is pretty much just a Mega Man, who, to be fair, has a lot of copying abilities. But here's the problem with that, and I'm pretty much done with Silver anyway. Silver's also got some decent hand-to-hand combat skills. Axel's ability... Now, first off, let's go with some of his base stuff. He's probably good in a fight, like a hand-to-hand fight. His main arsenal, or main weaponry, is Axi-Bullet, which is basically a standard auto-firing weapon. They're basically two pistols, more or less. Now, he's got several upgrades, including the Double Bullet, which, when equipped, he can lock on and attack two targets at once. The G-Launcher, which is necessary to use Explosion. What is Explosion? 1 second. It shoots out an extremely powerful burst of energy. Explosion is a weapon Axel received from defeating Vanishing Girl. It generates a powerful but short-range solo energy burst, like a lot of them do. Deals with Geolance using it when charging up. Yeah, anyway. It's a super shot, more or less. So, and then he can use the ray gun, which shoots out laser beams that are slightly slower than the actual bullet, but much more powerful. And he can use an ability called Volt Tornado, which, let's see now, the Volt Tornado can create an electrical spiral rolling effect, few seconds. Alright, that's kind of interesting. He's also got a wide range of just in-game attacks, including, but not limited to, something called the... What? Something called the... It's not a meteor, it's Meteor? Mettaur, Crash. Okay. Insect Killer, Manhunter, Ancient Gun. Oh wait, are these all? These are all weapons. Okay. All right. These are upgrades to the guns. All right. nothing that really says what it is. I mean, he's dropped like his bosses with it, like the boss fights. Okay. Here's all the special. He's also got special the tornado, splash warfare. Okay, which fires fire rapidly to extend range of a laser. Why does it say splash warfly? I do not know. Flame Hyenard. Okay. The double bullet is required to use this. Enemies are bombarded with a ring of flames. Okay. Okay, stop doing that. Let's see here. Ride Borsky. For God's sake, that sounds like a Russian food. The roving disc sweeps around enemies. Sniping missile fires a high-tech homing missile. Okay. Wind Crowrang. Axle bullet. The boomerang slices an enemy in its path. Explosion or short-range burst, creating a bulletproof shield for the soldier Stone Kong. He also has the abilities that he's taken from bosses. Weapon launches time-activated grenades, rapidly firing lasers that can pierce through enemies. And I'm just going on. I'm not even bothering reading the names. Gravity and powerful bullets that can pierce through any surface and shoot right through walls. They hurt enemies even when they're stuck to walls. For that one. Shots that reflect off walls, a powerful plasma shot that covers a wide range that can break enemy barriers, ice-derived ammo that can freeze enemies, a fearsome flamethrower that can roast foes like marshmallows or hot dogs. He also has copying abilities that lets him copy basically low-ranking enemies and enemies he's defeated, like bosses he's defeated. He can do things that replenish his movements, shields, a whole 9 yards. Megaman he can throw bombs and can salute other guard. Oh, he can turn into a guard droid, roller droid, sky droid, whatever. And then of course, when using command mission, Wild Django rolling thunder elemental attack. He's got a lot of stuff to him. And then he's got his white form, which is pretty much just an enhanced version, and he can levitate. Now, you may think that's all complex, and you may be asking, hey, why don't you have your notes in front of you for this one? Well, here's the thing. Even with White Axle, let's just say the fight commences. And the fight's going to break down. They're going to cross the tiers fast, think they're an enemy, and they're going to fight. Axle will go into standard gunfire, and Silver will just go, nope. Block the bullets with telekinesis, start throwing stuff at him. Now, he's going to be able to avoid the stuff being thrown at him with telekinesis. Probably blow stuff up with lasers, electric tornado, what have you. Eventually, he's going to try to fire plasma shots. Silver can just counteract with either telekinesis or just his own energy blast. And then maybe Axel's going to get really fed up and go into this White Axle form, which allows him to levitate, have higher stuff. Now they're both levitating. He's going to maybe bum rush him with laser blasts and eventually hit Silver. Silver's going to get a knock here, but Silver's immediately going to strike back with a punch. They're going to trade blows for a while, but Silver's basically going to get fed up and just start pushing back, hold him there. He's not going to be able to move. Start gathering all the weaponry or all the debris around him and start crushing him in a giant ball and smashing him down there. Now, even if he is able to get back up again, Silver can pretty much just say, no, use telekinesis, and just crush him down on the ground again. So this is not a fair fight in Axel's case. Because, let's be clear, you may think, oh, come on, he can't just keep using telekinesis. No, in what I looked up on him, no, he's pretty masterful in his telekinetic abilities. And if nothing else, he can also induce vertigo into Axel in case, Axel is still wanting to get up and is about to attack. And just and then smash him down again with a telekinetic energy blast or something like that. Axel doesn't really stand much of a chance in this fight, folks. And this is even without the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, he's a little outclassed in this fight. Now, again, once I saw White Axle, I knew why the person asked me for this fight. I knew why Sprites TM asked me for this fight. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, they do actually look really alike. But when you actually compare their abilities to each other, and I can't really go by the boss stuff, because, first off, he doesn't have any bosses that he's fought in this. Unless we want to go with that scenario, like, let's say, okay, he's fought a bunch of bosses. Give me 1 second then. If I go with that belief, let's see now. If we were to go by any of his boss forms, Wild Django performs Wild Django's rolling assault, a thunder elemental attack that causes between 1 and 2 times damage. It's a rolling thunder assault, which is basically it's a physical. It seems to be a physical lightning attack. But again, telekinesis, that's not going to do anything. You can just stop him there to prevent the attack. If anything, one of the only attacks I could see actually doing that could get past Silver's defenses would be the Thunder Tornado, and that'd only be for a little bit. And Silver's durable enough to go toe-to-toe with Shadow, who's strong enough to basically tank a fall from space and break the Earth's atmosphere like a meteor. Let's see now. Mad Nala's form. Mad Cocktail inflicting the enemy with a random status effect. Okay, that form might randomly do something, but if it's a random status effect, then it could be a status effect that does harm Silver, but doesn't hinder him enough to defeat him, or does nothing. But let's say if he's able to get that, let's keep going now. If he then goes into what is Sentus, Azure Knuckle, damaging all enemies twice. Okay, so if he's able to, let's say, use the Nala's as a random effect status, and it's an effect status that actually, or status effect, that actually, affects Silver, and it immediately goes in this, he might hurt Silver quite a bit, but Silver wouldn't be out of the game by a Dan yet. Let's see now. Raffleson's Sunburst, damaging all enemies 10 times at 200 damage. Holy crap. Let me actually check this one real quick. This one actually could this one could be a game changer in this sense. He can be found acquiring Raffleson. You're not giving me any real info on this. The ultimate armor and 250. Well, okay. Not giving me enough armor, but it seems to be some sort of burning sunburst attack, which, okay, that and it seems to do a lot of damage in the game. So that one I can kind of see and get behind to some degree. That one might be able to put Silver down, but again, assuming Silver can still block with like telekinesis and stuff like that, which I would assume he would, he could be able to at least repel a lot of the damage. But let's continue. Ninetales performs Ninetales 9 fragments, damaging one enemy 9 times at 999 damage. That's actually a lot. That's a lot. Now we're looking. Now we keep going into characters that now we're going into some characters that could actually maybe do that in these forms, but these seem to be temporary things for him too. It's not like he can stay in these forms. Silverhorn does a water elemental attack that wouldn't do anything. Again, telekinetic bubble protection. Let's see, last two here. Mock Gentra performs Flames of Guinea, a fire and elemental attack that damages all enemies. Doesn't say what the damage amount is, but it seems to be like it says Mock Gentras. But I think that's the guy's name, not like a mock speed attack. The last one, Depth Dragoon, thunder elemental attack that damages all enemies 3 times. Doesn't really get. Seems the only 3 I give any sort of real chance of taking Silver down without use of Chaos Emeralds. Because let's be clear, with Chaos Emerald use, none of these guys stand a chance. It'd have to be a combination of the Mad Nautilus to put a random status effect on Silver. It has to be that one first, and then after has the effect on him, hoping that either the Ninetales or the Raffleson can do enough damage to put him down. If I were to say one would do it, I would say the Ninetales would do it, just because it's focusing on one enemy and it's 999 damage as opposed to the 200 between 10 times. Because do the math. Honestly, do the math. That is 2,000 damage 10 times, but 9 times at 999 damage. Do the math. It's that's just shy. It's not 9,999. It's about 8,000 and I'm blanking a little bit here on that math. It's about 8,098, I think. No, not 98. 92? No, 91. 91, yeah. No, 81. What am I talking about? 81. Wow. Point being, if any one of these guys is going to do it, it's going to be Ninetales that's going to put that Silver at. And at that much damage I'm seeing in this game, and seeing as Silver is a game character, it's not impossible that, and assuming we're going by that he's allowed to use these boss forms, then it's not impossible for Axis to win. But it's one of those scenarios that Axel would have to pull out all the stops. And Again, we're not factoring the Chaos Emeralds in this because then I give Silver the win automatically regardless 100% of the time because warping space and time is something that Axel just doesn't have any sort of counter for, any sort of ability similar to. And he can transport people into other dimensions, things along those lines. It's not a fair ability in this fight. But you take that out of the equation, the only boss forms I can see here that are really powerful enough or strong enough to take him on would be the Mad Nihilus form, the Raphastan form, and the Ninetales form. I'd go with Ninetales form as the finisher, and even that's not a guarantee. Now, what do I give it overall? Well, before we were factoring these in, I was going to give it about 95%. It wasn't a 100% victory, but because Axel maybe could have gotten a lucky hit in or something. When you factor these forms in, then we're looking at a different scenario here. I'm still giving it to Silver the majority of the time. But I'll go 60% Silver. I think there's when you're factoring these forms in and the amount of damage a couple of these forms do, I think there's a real possibility that Axel pulls a win out. But we'll see. We'll see. What am I talking about? That's who would win. That's Screw Attack's line. Which Death Battle's at tomorrow. McGruff the Crime Dog versus Smokey the Bear. Can't wait for that. Yeah, and then that means I also have a Death Battle prediction video tomorrow. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know if you think differently. If you do, that's cool. Just be cool about it. Don't be a dick. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below, let us know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, anything I do in the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to it at some point. I'll be back in a little bit with 2 what ifs because I missed one last week and I have one coming up on Thursday. So I figure, and they're going to be the same one, just 2-parters. So why not just cram them both together in one night? So thanks for watching. I'll see you folks next.